When you meet Jack, the first thing you need to do is ensure that he can read a number plate from 20 meters away. You can do this by standing at the side of the pavement and checking if he can read the number plate from approximately that distance. If Jack struggles to read the number plate, you can move closer, starting from about 25 meters. If he still has difficulty, you can pace out 20 strides from the car with the number plate he is trying to read. If he still cannot read it, you should advise him to get his eyes checked, as he will not be able to proceed without proper vision. Additionally, you need to verify that his driving license has category B and that it is valid. Make sure to check that his date of birth is accurate. It should be 17 years old. You can flip the license over to confirm that the category B designation starts on his 17th birthday.
It's important to determine Jack's learning style. If he doesn't understand what you mean, you can ask him how he prefers to complete tasks. Does he like to look at pictures or images, which would indicate a visual learning style? Or does he prefer listening to someone explain things, suggesting an auditory style? He might also like to try tasks himself, which would indicate a kinesthetic learning style. You can find this out by asking him how he normally approaches tasks, for example, at college. Understanding his learning style will help you know how to begin the lesson and tailor your approach to suit Jack's needs.
And I sort of, they're like community ones where I go on different communities and build sort of cities and stuff like that. That sounds really good. Okay, all right. So let's have a look then. First of all, what we call the cockpit drill, which is set yourself up in the car, Jack. Okay, so to set yourself up in the car, the first thing we need to do is what we call D-treble-SM. So imagine D-S-S-S-M. So the first thing, and I'm obviously sat this side in the driver's side here, and you're watching me. So first thing we need to do is to check the doors are shut. Okay, so simple as what you do if you're in the passenger side. You just give it a quick tug like this. So I'm going to ask you a question now. If you thought the door was open, what would you do to shut it safely? Well, probably open it. And before you open it, what would you do first? Oh, I see what you mean. I would probably check alongside the pavement to see if there's anyone walking down. Exactly. And of course, on this side of the car, that's really important because obviously there could be someone walking up and down the pavement. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate that for you. So first of all, give it a quick tug. If you did feel like it was open, you'd probably find there's a bit of a rattle in it. You check over your shoulder, make sure there's no one there, open the door, and then shut it again. All right, and that is very important, especially at the end of today's lesson, because you might be quite excited because you're probably going to have a little drive. Okay, and if you do that, then it's important to exit the car safely at all times. You know, even when you pass your test, obviously. So that's the first thing. Doors. Next thing is your seat. So normally, what we do, Jack, is we go from the bottom of the seat to the middle of the seat to the top of the seat. Okay, so the bottom of the seat, first of all, we want to make sure that we got a slight bend in the knee on your left knee, your left hand knee, when you got your pedal to the floor. We want to push the clutch to the floor. Do you know which one the clutch is? No, I don't know anything. It's all to it. Okay, the clutch is the left pedal on the left side, and we need to make sure that that one does push all the way to the floor. Okay, so we need to make sure we can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold onto the steering wheel to make sure I don't go anywhere. Hold the bar at the bottom of the seat, pull it forward, drop the bar again, and then press down on the clutch. You can see I'm doing that. That's the left pedal. And I can feel now I've got a slight bend in my knee when I push my clutch all the way to the floor. So that one goes all the way down. Can you see that? Oh yeah, I can see you pushing it down. Yeah, okay. So that's what you're going to do in a minute when we swap seats. Okay, so that we know now that the bottom of the seat is in the correct position. Then the next thing to do is to make sure the middle is at the correct position. So basically what we're doing here, it's more for comfort, but you probably know on the passenger side there's a wheel at the side that you just turn to make the seat go back and front. This is what we call the rake of the seat. Okay, so it's more for comfort, but also with the steering wheel in front of us, we want to make sure that we've got a slight bend in your elbows when you're holding your wheel at 2:45.
It's important to emphasize that Jack is a visual learner, which is why he is sitting in the passenger seat at this moment. He also knows very little about cars. In fact, he isn't even sure what the pedals are down by the instructor's feet. Jack is feeling quite nervous and has requested a complete visual explanation so that he can see the instructor perform the cockpit drill.
So 2:45, what we're doing is we're imagining the wheel is like a clock face. And I can now see I've got a slight bend in my elbow, so that's at the right position. If I felt like I was stretching, then I'm in the wrong position. And we'll come on to the steering wheel in a minute, but that looks about right. If I did need to adjust the steering wheel, I could. There's a little handle down here that I can move the wheel up, down, in and out. So there's certain things I can do there as well. So that's the rake of the seat. It is more for comfort, but you do want to be able to reach the steering wheel. And the last thing is the head restraint, which is this part here. Any idea why this is here, Jack? Well, so that you sort of rest your head on it. Well, you don't actually rest your head on it, but it's there to protect your neck in the event of an accident. Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen that on a video at school. Right. Okay. So, and we want to make sure if I look sideways, I can see my eye line is about halfway up. So that's the rigid part of the head restraint, and that's protecting my neck. So if that eye line was at the bottom, then I'd need to adjust that head restraint. And there's a button. If you can have a look at me pressing that button in, I can move it up and down as I need it. But that looks about right. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's good. That's it. Okay, and you could do the same on your side. Have a go on your side from the passenger side. Good. That's it. So that's about right for you as well, isn't it?
The instructors tried to get the pupil involved by encouraging them to adjust their own headrest. Since Jack is a visual learner, this approach leans more towards teaching than coaching. However, the instructor still asks Jack questions to engage him, such as, "Where do you think you need to check before you open the door?" The instructor is making an effort to involve Jack, even though he doesn't fully understand anything about cars or how to complete the cockpit drill.
Fantastic. So we're getting there. So door, seat, and then the seat is done. Now the steering. So when we're steering, this is the steering wheel. Obviously, you know that. I realise you know that. And we hold the steering wheel about 2:45 or 1:50, depending on how comfortable you feel. How do you mean by 2:45? Well, imagine it like a clock face. So you've got your hands around about there. And then if you raise it higher, that'd be about 1:50. Okay. So it's up to you where you hold it. But you don't want your hands at the bottom of the steering wheel because you'd have less control over the vehicle. Okay. So the next thing we need to do, does that make sense? Yeah, I see that now. And when we talk about the steering wheel in a minute, when we're pulling away, I might say to you, like I say, treat it like a clock face. So for instance, if you were steering a minute to the left, it would be like that. Not much at all. 5 minutes to the left would be like that. Quarter of an hour to the left would be like the wheel would be at the side. Half an hour to the left would be the wheel would be upside down like that. And a full revolution would be pushing the wheel 1 revolution an hour. Does that make sense? Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see that. The reason why we do that is because whenever possible, Jack, I would prefer to say to you, steer 2 minutes away from the parked vehicle rather than grabbing your wheel. Now, of course, I'll keep you safe at all times, so that's not a problem. But it's quite good to be able to do that so that rather than me say, pull your wheel away from the parked vehicle, I could say, Jack, steer 2 minutes away from the parked vehicle, and you know you just got to steer slightly to the right. It lets me give you verbal support rather than actually physically taking control of the vehicle, which isn't a very nice feeling for you. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does, yeah. Okay, with the steering wheel as well, Jack, we can also adjust the rake up, adjust the height of the steering. So can you see, if you have a look at this little bar here, I'm just going to push that down, and I can raise it, drop it, and pull it in and out, okay? So I've already said when we're doing the seat that we want a slight bend in the elbow. So you can imagine if you push it in too far, the steering wheel is going to be too far away from you. So you want to be you want to make sure it's in a comfortable position. Does that make sense? It does, yeah. Okay, good. So door, seat, steering. When you are steering, it's best to look as far down the road as you can, looking in the distance and making sure that you're not looking at the tarmac at the front of the car. You want to be looking as far down the road as possible. We'll talk about that later. Oh, okay, right. So, door, seat, steering. Next is your seatbelt. So we're going to pop the seatbelt on, and you can put yours on as well.
During the cockpit drill, closely observe Jack Poody's body language. Although he is very visual and comfortable watching the instructor, it's important to ensure he feels ready to perform the cockpit drill on his own when he gets into the driver's seat. If you notice signs of boredom in his body language, consider adjusting your teaching style. This might involve having him sit in the driver's seat and practice the drill from there. It's crucial to keep an eye on the pupil's body language to ensure they remain engaged.
And make sure, I'm sure you've done this a number of times, but just run your thumb along it, along the seatbelt, to make sure there's no kinks and make sure it goes into the catch and it's secure. So what do you think, if there was a kink in it like this, if I show you, what would be the problem with that? I suppose if you broke hard and it sort of locks, you'd like be uncomfortable. It could be. It could be. So it's important to make sure that's in the right place and it's against your shoulder and not into your neck. So there is another adjustment here. We can push it up and down so it feels comfortable on the neck as well. But that seems to be okay for me. We'll talk about that later. So door seat steering, seat belt, and the last thing is the mirrors. So why do you think it would be important to do the mirrors last and the seat first? Or to be honest, well, if you did the mirrors first, then adjusted your seat. Oh, no, I see what you mean. So if you did your mirrors first and adjusted the seat, your mirrors would be all wrong. Yes, it would. They would. So that's really important. We do the mirrors last. So let me show you how I'm doing the mirrors now. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure I adjust the center mirror and I sit in my normal driving position. So I don't want to be sat like that or that. I want to be sat in a normal driving position with my left hand. I'm going to not hold the glass. I'm going to pull it round until I can frame the back window. So that's the top, the bottom, and the left and the right. But I'm not moving my head. I'm sitting in my normal driving position. Oh, I see. Yeah. What would be the problem, do you think, if I was to go like that and adjust my mirror? Well, you would be in the position that you'd normally be in if you're driving. Exactly. It makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So the outside mirrors, we need to make sure we can see half the pavement, half the sky, and half the road, half the pavement, half the sky, and the horizon needs to end about halfway up the mirror, and you need to see a little bit of the back of the car. Oh, okay. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Well, let me show you a picture, just in case it doesn't, okay? Let's have a look at this. So I'm going to show you a picture of here, and we can have a look at it together, just to make sure that you understand what I mean. Let's grab a picture. There we go. Here we are. So you can see that's what you're looking for in the left mirror. Ah, yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah, so just a bit at the back of the car. Right, that's it. Good. And then you can see on the other side, on the right mirror, it's exactly the same, except we see road on that side. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so to adjust it on this particular model of car, there's a little wheel. Can you see that at the top there? And you push the stick towards the left, and then you just use the arrows to adjust the mirror until you're getting this particular position that we can see. Because we're going to be using those mirrors quite a bit to keep ourselves safe, on what we call using mirror signal maneuver, which we'll come on to later. Okay, so now we know we've adjusted that one. So we push the stick to the right, and we need to go out and up, and that looks about right for me. Notice I'm sat in my normal driving position when I'm doing that. How does that feel? Yeah, it's quite a lot to remember in there. Yeah, if we break it down into D treble SM, then it's a bit easy to remember. Okay, all right, great stuff. So that is a cockpit drill. Okay, so now we've set ourselves up in the car. The next thing we need to do is to, I'm just going to, in a minute, we'll swap seats and you can have a go and tell me what you remember from that D treble SM. Any bits you don't remember, I can fill in. So you don't have to remember it all, don't have to remember any of it, but we'll see what you remember. How does that sound? Yeah, that sounds great. Now I have a question for you, Jack. We are going to be doing what we call a bit of peep and creep in a minute, which I'm going to show you what that is in a moment. But also we're going to be doing a little bit of moving off and stopping as well. So with that as well, you being a visual learner, did you want to do the cockpit drill first? Or logically, it might be better if I show you how to move off and stop and do the peep and creep, and then you can then sit this side and have a go yourself. How does that sound? Yeah, I think I prefer that. If you show me how to do whatever that is, peep and creep thing, and what we're actually going to be moving off for real in this car. Yep, we will do that today. Oh my God, I didn't think I'd be driving today. Okay, don't worry. How confident do you feel doing that? Well, I'm not very confident. How about if I said to you, if I was to guide you through it, and you have a look at me visually doing it, then that might give you a bit more confidence. Is that fair to say? Might do. We'll do it at your pace. I mean, if you don't feel like you're up to it, we can always step it back. But how about we go and have a little look at Peep and Creek first of all? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't even know what it is. I'm going to show you. Okay, let's do that first of all. So I know I'm safe now, Jack, because I've set myself up in the car. So now we're going to go and have a look at this Peep and Creek. Let's go and have a look.
Since Jack is unsure about what the pedals do and their order, it's important for the driving instructor to explain each pedal clearly. The instructor has already discussed this in detail outside of this video. He clarified that the left pedal is the clutch, the middle pedal is the brake, and the right pedal is the accelerator, which he also refers to as the gas pedal.
The instructor has also explained what he will say when giving commands about the pedals. For example, when using the clutch, he will say, "Bring the clutch halfway up, freeze it at the biting point." The biting point is when the front of the car starts to lift up. If the clutch is too high, he will say, "Squeeze the clutch," which means to push the clutch down the width of a pound coin. This phrase is easier than saying, "Push the clutch down the width of a pound coin." Regarding the brake, the instructor has advised Jack to use his right foot and pivot from the gas pedal to the brake instead of lifting his whole foot. He explains that you only need to press the brake the width of a pound coin for it to start working and how to feather the brakes effectively. When pivoting back to the gas, he should also press it the width of a pound coin to reach approximately 1,500 revolutions per minute on the rev counter.
The most important point the instructor emphasized is the instruction to cover a pedal. This means that Jack should simply position his foot over the pedal without actually using it. This is crucial for Jack to understand, as it prepares him to use the pedals when necessary.
So the first thing, if we're using the clutch pedal, I'm going to say clutch to the floor and bring the clutch up to the biting point. Okay, so the biting point is when you feel the front of the car start to lift up. Okay, right, okay then. So basically what I mean by that is, I'll do it from my side so you can have a look. So you put your clutch to the floor, that's all the way down. Okay, we've got the engine started, and to palm the gears, we go. I'll show you my hand. You put your hand to the left, push the gear stick to the left, push it forward, and then you're in gear. Now at this point, I need to make sure I keep my clutch down, otherwise I'll stall the car. And I'll talk to you about stalling in a minute. Then we're going to cover the brake pedal. The gas pedal. Now, cover the pedals means just put your feet over them so you're ready to use them. So you can cover the gas. So I'm going to call it accelerator, the gas pedal, or you can cover the brake as well. We're going to cover the gas. Then I want you to, I'll do it from my side. I want you to raise the clutch to the bike and we'll feel, can you feel that? Oh yeah. Then at that point, I'll say freeze your clutch foot. That's your left foot. Don't bring it up any higher. Then push it to the floor. Can you feel it raise up at the front? Yeah, I can. Okay.
Don't forget that you have dual pedals, which means you can have Jack fill the dual clutch from the passenger side if you think this suits his learning style. As mentioned earlier in the video, pay attention to body language. Jack may be waiting to get into the driver's seat to try it himself, but for now, the instructors can see that he seems content sitting in the passenger seat and watching the instructor closely.
Raise the clutch. Well, I'm going to raise the clutch up again. Can you feel that? Yes, I can. So when you get to that point, when you're sat this side, Jack, that's what I want you to do. Bring it to the bike and then hold it dead still. Okay, all right, that sounds all right. So I'm going to put the clutch down now, okay? And then I'm going to touch the gas pedal, and I'm going to push it at the gas pedal the width of a pound coin. Imagine that much. I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to press that gas the width of a pound coin. There we go. And we're getting a steady hum on the engine. Can you feel that? Can you hear it rather? Yeah, I can hear that and feel that. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, so now we'll bring the clutch to the bike, and like I said, I will say freeze your clutch. Don't bring up any higher, and then push it to the floor again. Okay. Now, when you're using the brake, what I want you to do, if you look at my hands, okay, we're going to use the right foot. When you're pivoting, you keep the heel of the foot on the floor and pivot over to the brake. So it's like gas pedal, brake pedal, and you're only using those two pedals about a width of a pound coin to get them to work. So you don't want to press them about that much. Quite sensitive. Okay, we'll have a go at it in a minute. Okay, so I'll be saying cover the brake and push the brake down the width of a pound coin, and I might say more braking, less braking, or cover the brake. I might say more gas, less gas, or cover the gas. And I'll say bring the clutch up to the biting point and freeze it still. Sometimes I'll say to you push the clutch down the width of a pound coin, or I might say squeeze your clutch, because that's easier than saying and push the clutch down the width of a pound coin. So if I say squeeze the clutch, you're pushing the clutch down about that much. Okay, right. There's a lot to take in. How are you finding that? Yeah, so when you say squeeze, that means push the clutch down that much. Exactly, a little bit. We'll practice that in a minute. Okay, all right. So now what I want you to do, what I'm going to do rather, is I'm going to take it out of gear. We're just going to go through the gears now. Okay. So we're going to pull away in a moment. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to watch me. So I'm going to put my clutch down and watch how I change gear. So I'm palming the gear like this. I'm pushing the gear stick towards the left, then upwards. Okay, now to get into second gear, you need to keep that palm to like this and push the gear stick back, because the gears are sprung loaded, which means if you keep the pressure on to the left, there's only one way it's going to go. It's going to go to second gear. Look at the map on the top. Oh yeah, I can see second. Now to go into third gear, loosen your hand and just drop it forward very gently. You could try it on your side if you like. Just drop it forward. Perfect. And then go up. That's third gear. And for fourth gear, you just need to drop it backwards.
Although Jack is content to watch the driving instructor demonstrate how the gears work and how to properly position his hand on the gear stick, the instructor is trying to involve Jack by encouraging him to change gears from the passenger side. This involvement is important, as the instructor is observing Jack's body language and giving him the responsibility of changing gears, which helps engage him in the lesson. As we've mentioned, this is more of a teaching lesson than a coaching session, as Jack is a complete beginner.
Okay, right, from the passenger side, try doing that again. So palm it towards me, pressure. When I go into reverse gear, because I'll talk to you about it in a minute. There's a safety catch to stop that from happening, Jack. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But try again. Okay, now take second gear for me. And how about third gear? Yes, what about fourth gear? Yes, straight back. Good. And to get into fifth gear, you put pressure the other way. We'll come on to that later. We don't need that today, so we'll talk about that on another lesson. Fifth gear will be higher speeds. Okay. Oh, okay, right. Fine, fantastic. You're doing really well. So, how's that making sense? Are you okay? You still okay sat in the passenger seat watching me? No, I prefer that. I'm quite, as I say, I'm quite a visual learner. I'd rather see what you do first. Fantastic. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is do a bit of peak and creep, but we need to be on a slight hill for that. And I'm going to explain what that is, okay? So I'm just going to drive off and I'll explain where I'm driving off. In fact, what I might do is turn this around a little bit. Let me show you how, while we're here, let me show you how we're going to move off in a minute. So in a moment, if you feel comfortable, you're going to have a go at this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to help you. So to pull away, the first thing we're going to do is put the clutch to the floor. I'll do that. Into first gear, that's pressure to the front, and then hand on the parking brake. So you put your thumb on the end, parking brake, and now we're going to raise the clutch to the bike. Do you remember that? Oh yeah, that's when the car lifts up. Good. Freeze the clutch dead still. All right. Now your feet are dead still. Now you need to observe. So we prepared the car. Now we need to observe. So we look over the left shoulder to see if there's anyone that might be in that dead area over there. Left mirror, could be someone stood against the car. Center mirror to see what's behind us. The right mirror, and over the right shoulder to check in the blind spot area, which I'll show you in a minute. I will show you a visual picture of that in a minute, but I'm just checking the bit that doesn't cover that mirror. I can see it's safe, Jack, so I'm going to take the parking brake off. I'm going to steer a quarter of an hour to the right so I don't hit the car in front. Then I'm raising the clutch all the way up. I kept it still at the bike as I started to move. Now I'm going to pull up on the left-hand side. So I'm going to check my interior mirror and my left mirror. I'm just tickling the gas very gently, the tips of my toes, width of a pound point. I've checked my interior left mirror. I'm going to signal left. Now that's down on the stick for left, or this stick here. Now cover the brake. Do you remember about covering the pedals, not using them? Then clutch down and then brake gently to a stop now. And I'm lining up the curb with the windscreen wiper, the bit that sticks up on the windscreen wiper, so I know where I am. I could also look in my left mirror as well to see how close I am to the curb.
As a potential driving instructor, it's essential to recognize reference points on your car. This knowledge will help you assist pupils who might struggle with understanding how close they are to a curb or when to steer into a bay during a maneuver. Additionally, identifying reference points can help them maintain the correct driving position while navigating a main road. There are various reference points to consider, and it is your responsibility as a driving instructor to identify these points in order to support pupils with their positioning.
So that's a reference point. I can see you're looking at it from the passenger side, Jack, but that will be a different reference point, so you'll have to sit here to look at that. But basically, when you sit this side, you'll see that the bit that sticks up on the windscreen wiper cuts into the curb, so you know where you are. Oh, okay, yeah. It'll make more sense when you're sat this side, because that will help you. But now we've pulled up on the left, okay? And the way we did that, we used what we call mirror signal position speed. Look, so I checked my mirrors as I pulled up. I signaled to the left. I started to position my vehicle closer to the pavement because I needed to. Then I needed to mirror signal position, got close to the curb. Speed was brake, the width for a pound coin. And then I put my clutch down because I need to disengage the engine. I'll explain why in a minute. And then the last thing I did was look to make sure I'm close to the curb using my reference point. Well, there's a lot to remember, isn't there? There is a lot to remember. Don't expect to remember everything, Jack. But as I say, we're going through the cockpit door, moving off the side. Now, I did say, is anything you want me to talk about there? Is that making sense? Yeah, there's a lot to remember, though. Okay, well, let's just go through it very briefly so that you feel comfortable that you're remembering. First of all, the cockpit drill. What sort of sequence have you got there? Doors, seat, steering, seat belt, mirrors. Well, remember, not many people remember it like that. Well done. That's good. So that's great. And we're moving off. How do you know you're at the biting point? You put the left, that one down, the left one. Then you go into first gear. And then you sort of raise it and you feel the front of the car lift slightly. When you're at that biting point, what do you do then? I keep the clutch dead still and then take this one off, park the brake off, and then start to move. And if I said to you steer a quarter of an hour away from the curb, what would the wheel look like? Oh yeah, the arch would be to the big hole here would be at the side, sort of quarter of an hour. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, good, well done. All right, and then do you remember the procedure when we pulled up to park? Mirrors. No, I can't remember. Don't worry. Okay, we'll come on to that in a minute. So you want to check your mirrors first to see if it's safe. Then you signal if you need to. And then you position your vehicle. And then you look. So you think about your speed by braking. And how hard do you normally brake? Width of a pound coin. And then before you stop, what do you need to do with your clutch? Keep it up. Well, you push it to the floor, but don't expect to remember everything because there's a lot of information in it. Right? But well done for remembering the bits that you have. That's excellent. So the next thing we want to do is go on and do a bit of peep and creep. Okay. Now, what I think we're going to do now is we're going to swap seats. Okay, right. You look quite nervous doing that. A little bit. I'm here to help you, Jack. So I can manage the risk at all times. What pedals do you think you've got down there? I didn't see those pedals down there. I don't know. Well, I've got a clutch and a brake. Oh, so you can help me. I can keep you safe. So as the lesson goes through and you get better, I'll transfer more responsibility to you. But at first, there are 3 levels of instruction. And because you're new, I'm going to use the top level of instruction, which is guidance. So I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. But even better than that, if there's a high risk situation and you look like you might be in a bit of a dangerous situation, you won't be, because I can step in and use the pedals or move your steering wheel. So you're completely safe at all times. Oh, okay then. So you don't need to worry, you can experiment and I can ask you questions and we can have a go together. Does that sound right? Yeah, that sounds really good. All right, so when we get out the car, just remind me, where do you need to look before you get out the car? Oh yeah, over my shoulder to see if there's any pedestrians coming down. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to swap seats and then you're going to jump in this side. All right? Okay.
In the first lesson, it's a really good idea to wait by the driver's side door for Jack and ensure he gets into the car safely. Once he is inside, you can close the door and confirm that he is seated properly. The reason for this is that it's his first time sitting in the driver's seat, and he might be quite nervous. Therefore, it's important to manage the risk by ensuring he enters the car safely and is comfortably seated in the driver's position.
So, just out of roll for a minute. Now, they've swapped seats, and now Jack is going to have a go himself, but I'm going to ask him some questions. Okay, so we're back and roll. I'm now Jack, sat this side, and the instructor sat in the passenger side. Okay. All right. Okay, Jack, so cockpit drill first of all. Can you remember what you had to do for the cockpit drill? Yeah, doors. Okay, good. And then the doors, seat. Okay, so what did you have to do with your seat? I had to make sure is it the clutch on? Yeah, the clutch. I had to push it to the floor. Can I try it? Yeah, go for it. Oh, and I'm stretching. So what do you need to do? Push the seat forward a little bit. Good. Push it down again. Goes a bit further down than that. Oh yeah, it goes all the way down, doesn't it? It does. Oh yeah, I've got a slight bend in my knee. So do you think that's about right? Yeah. Good. That was easy enough, wasn't it? So that's the seat. That's the bottom of the seat. What about the rake of the seat, the back of the seat? Oh, you've got to make sure that you can reach the steering wheel and you feel comfortable. Now, how does that feel? It feels all right, actually. Yeah. I've got a slight bend in my elbow. Well, remember, good. So that's it. So if you were stretching for that wheel, what could you do? Oh, can I do it? Yeah, go for it. You can just push it in and out. Oh yeah, I can see it goes up and down. Good. Can you see the dials there? Yeah, I can. So push it back. Oh, it's quite stiff, isn't it? Yeah, push back in. Yeah, that's it. Well done. That looks good. So do you think your steering's in the right place? Yes. And the brakes feels okay? Yeah. What else do you need to do? Put my seatbelt on. Well, before you do your seatbelt, what about the last part of your seat? Oh, head restraint. Okay, good. And what do you need to do? My eye line needs to be about halfway up. Yeah, it looks about right. It does look about right. That's great. So would that support you if you were in an accident? Yeah, stop me from getting, is it whiplash? It is. Well done. Good. So that's that part done. So what's next? Steering we've done. We have. Seatbelt. Okay, good. Put your seatbelt on then. And what do you, so that it feels comfortable and there's no danger, what do you need to do? Got to run your thumb along to make sure it feels okay. How's that feel? Yeah, it feels all right. Good. What else do we need to do? What's the last thing? Oh, the mirrors. Good. Okay, so explain to me what you're doing with the middle one. I've got to move it around so I can see with back on the window. Good. And can you? Yeah, I can see both sides. Yeah, it sort of framed the back window. Good. Fantastic. Okay, that sounds good. What about the outside mirrors? Oh yeah, I've got that visual picture. I've got to move. Oh, I have to move that one in. I've got to see a little bit of the car, half road, half sky, and the horizon there's about halfway up. That looks all right. Yeah. What about the other side? Yeah, I've got to bring that in a little bit. That's about right. Tell me what you can see. Well, I can see a little bit of the back of the car. What can you actually see behind you? Oh, there's a car parked in the distance. I can see there's cars parked in the driveway of the white car. Good. Well done. And you can see that
It's important for the instructor to know that Jack has adjusted the mirrors correctly. Asking coaching questions, such as, "Can you tell me what you see?" will help confirm that the mirrors are positioned safely. This ensures that the instructor knows Jack can see clearly behind him in all 3 mirrors.
road. Yeah, I can see the road now. It's quite a bit like the picture you showed me. I can see all that. Fantastic. So have you set yourself up in the car now? Yeah, I have, yeah. Okay, so now you've done that. You remember the instructions I'm going to give you with your pedals and your steering. So we're going to have a little go at peep and creep. So I'm now going to explain eventually what peep and creep is. So just imagine that you are with your friend and your friend has passed their driving test and you've passed your driving test and you've gone around your friend's house, but you want to park very close to the car, their car, and they're outside the car, just going like this to you to get a bit closer to the vehicle so you can get this close to the vehicle in front. So the idea is that you need to move the car really slowly using your clutch. So let me explain, or I'll talk you through it.
The instructors developed a scenario in which they asked Jack to imagine that he is with a friend and needs to move the car forward 1 foot at a time by using the clutch pedal to control the vehicle. Creating such scenarios during lessons is an effective way for Jack to understand the rationale behind the tasks the instructor is asking him to perform.
Remember I said I'd give you that guided instruction. So we're going to put the clutch down. Do you remember what you're doing there? Yeah, it's about all. And first gear, do you remember how to select first? Oh yeah, go like that. Excellent. And then, oh God, nothing's going to happen, is it? No, keep your clutch down though. Don't do anything. Now cover your gas pedal and raise the clutch to the bike. You tell me when you think you're there. There. Okay, freeze your clutch, Jack. Don't bring it up any further. Keep your clutch foot dead still. So this is what we're going to do now, peep and creep. So imagine your friends out there going, go forward a little bit. So if you take your parking brake off, I'm going to manage the risk by looking behind you. So just have a quick, we're not going to take off yet because there's a car behind us. Now there's another one. So I want you to keep the parking brake on. Do I have to look as well? Well, you can do, but I will manage the risk with what's happening behind you so you can concentrate on that peep and creep. Okay? So now take the parking brake off. Get your clutch dead still. Oh my God, we're moving. Good. You are moving. Well done. So as we're moving, what we need to do now is imagine that your mate's outside the car. So raise the clutch up that much. What, up? Yeah, up a little bit. Good. Now squeeze the clutch down that much. God. Okay, can you see the car stopped? Yeah, it has. Now, if you raise the clutch up a little bit higher, the width of a pound coin, and now squeeze it down, keep it dead still because there are cars around us. So I'm just going to manage the risk. I'm going to ask you to put your left signal, that's down for left. Good. Just keep your clutch dead still for me. Now raise the clutch up this much. Now your mate's outside, go a little bit further forward, but only a foot more. Now squeeze your clutch down. Oh yeah, I can see like the left pedal's controlling the speed. That's it. Squeeze it down. But I was just going to ask you that actually, which pedal is now controlling your speed? The clutch. Oh, I thought it would be the brake. It's not always the brake. Sometimes you can control. What is your foot anywhere near the brake at the moment? No, it's not. It's on the. It's my right foot's on the gas pedal, just covering it. Good. Now, if you squeeze your clutch down another width of a pound coin, you're rolling back. Oh God, I'm rolling back. So raise the clutch up slightly and then hold it dead still on the button. So that's the biting point. So the point being, Jack, is your left foot can control your vehicle. So again, your mate's saying go forward another foot. So raise it up the width of a pound coin, squeeze it down the width of a pound coin. Oh, that's really cool. Bring it up the width of a pound coin, squeeze it down the width of a pound coin. Yeah, makes sense? Yeah. Squeeze it down. Good. Well done. Now, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to bring it up the width of a pound coin so we keep rolling. Now push your clutch down to the floor, all the way down, and put your foot on the foot brake. Oh, sorry, that was a bit of a jolt. That's okay. Keep your feet dead still. Now secure the car with the parking brake and take it out of gear. So into neutral, which is in the middle, push one to the left, one to the right, and now you can cancel your signal and bring the clutch up. Or the left, I can just bring it up. Yeah, you can, yeah, nothing's going to happen. No, because you haven't selected a gear. We'll go on to that in more detail later. Oh, it's a lot to remember. There is, but how did you feel that went? Yeah, that was really good with using like the left pedal to control the vehicle. I didn't think you could do that. Well, funny you should say that, because I'm going to do peep and creep again now, but I'm going to give you a bit more responsibility this time. So I want you to imagine your friend is in front now, and I'm going to say to you, hold the car dead still, then go forward a foot. So you're going to squeeze the clutch up and down, and I want you to take a bit more responsibility. So I'm just going to ask you what you're going to do rather than tell you this time. Okay, all right? So you're just going to ask, yeah, I'm just going to ask you rather than tell you. Okay, all right, so here we go, right? Clutch down, your mate's going, go forward a little bit. So into first, well done. When are you going to be at the biting point? When I hear the engine note drop. What are you going to do with the clutch now? I'm going to keep it dead still. Okay, what are you going to take with the, what are you going to do with the parking brake? Take it off? You are. Okay, you're at the bike now, so your mate's going, go forward another 2 foot. How are you going to make yourself go forward? Push it, clutch down. No, not down. Oh, up. How much? Width of pound coin. Okay, how are you going to stop the car from moving? Squeeze it down a bit, pound point. Okay, then what you're going to do again to make it go forward? Pick up the width of pound point. I'm managing the wrist, by the way, Jack, by looking behind. You just concentrate on that clutch. A little bit. Oh, that's so cool. Keep doing it. I'll leave you to do it. That's really good. Okay. Right, now you actually want to come to a stop. So you're going to have to go onto the brake, but not yet. I want you to put your clutch down first and brake. Good. Right. Before you, don't move your feet. Before you move your feet, what do you need to do next? Put this one on. Good. And then what? Bring your clutch up yet. What else? What do you need to do with your gears? Oh, take it out of gear. Yeah. Good. All right. So we'll go on from that later on, but that is peep and creep. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Right. Okay, how are you feeling? Yeah, no, it's really good. I really like it. Okay, so next we're going to have a go at pulling away for real. Go on. And all we're going to do, so you feel safe, we're going to go from here to the lamppost in front. Okay. Talk to me about how I can keep you safe if you feel out of control. Oh, you got a clutch and a brake. Okay. So are you completely safe? Yes, I am. All right.
This can be described as a friendly risk statement, allowing Jack to understand that if any problems arise, the instructor can intervene either verbally or by using the dual pedals. This approach guarantees his safety and will help Jack feel more comfortable.
So I'm going to guide you through it anyway. You're happy with that? Yeah. So I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. But if there is any high risk, don't worry. Feel free to experiment because I'm here to help you. Okay. I'll keep you safe. All right. So first thing, prepare the car. So clutch down. Yep. Into first gear. Well done. And then where's your right foot going to go? Oh, to the gas. Okay. Find the biting point. Well done. Now we're prepared. We need to observe. So look over your left shoulder, left mirror, center mirror, right mirror, and over your right shoulder. Yep. Is anyone around you? No. Right. Take the parking brake off. And then slowly raise your clutch up. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. All the way up for me. That's lovely. Okay. Now steer 5 minutes away from the curb and gently touch the gas and width of a pound coin. Or is a car coming the other way? Don't worry. I'll keep you safe. Okay. Well done. That's really good. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to pull up on the left in a safe place. So check your interior mirror and your left mirror. Signal left. That's down for left on the stick. Cover your brake for me. Don't use it. Just cover it. Cover your clutch. Push your clutch down all the way to the floor and brake gently to a stop. I'm just going to move your steering wheel so you don't hit the curb. Oh, okay. Keep your feet dead still. Then parking brake on. That's there. That one. Good. Then what are you going to do with the gears? I'll take it out of gear. Okay. Can you relax your feet now? Now you're out of gear. Yes. Yes, you can. Well done. Excellent. Well done. How's that feel? Yeah, I moved the car, so that was quite good fun. Yeah, no, it was really good. I didn't think I'd been moving today. I didn't think I was having a lesson today, to be fair. All right, okay, you look a bit more confident. So if we were to scale you at the moment, being one, I had no idea this was going to be like this to learn to drive, and it's much harder than I thought it would be, and I'm never going to do it ever again. And 10 being, I'm really enjoying myself, and it's a lot easier than what I thought it'd be, and I can't wait for my next lesson. Where would you scale yourself? Oh, probably about a 7. Okay, good. Why? It's enjoyable for definite. I wouldn't say. Probably say there's a lot more to remember than I thought there'd be. But yeah, I suppose it comes with a bit of time. It comes with a bit of time, Jack. That's exactly it. So now, how about rather than tell you what to do, I'm going to ask you. Right. Okay. What doing? What? Pulling away from the side of the road and stopping. Okay. How do you feel about that? Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll have a go at it. Okay. So this time I'm just going to ask you, will I keep you safe? Yeah. Yeah. You got the clutch and the brake. Are you okay and quite safe to experiment? Yeah, I am. Okay. So I'm going to keep you safe, but I want you to do as much as you can yourself. So rather than tell you, I'm going to ask you. So what are you going to do with your clutch? Push it to the floor. And what gear are you going to take? First gear. Okay. And then how do you know you're at the biting point? I've got to cover my gas and then raise it up to the bite. Well done. Okay. And then where are you going to look before you go? Under the shoulders. And yeah. Where else apart from that mirror? Oh, with blind spot. Okay, good. Okay. Is it safe to go? Yes. Okay. What are you going to do with the parking brake? Take it off. Good. How are you going to make the car go forward? Raise the touch a little bit further. Okay, well, how much are you going to steer away? About 5 minutes. Good stuff. Oh my God, there's a bike there. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'll help you. Right, keep safe. How are you going to make the car go quicker? I'm going to push on the gas pedal. Good. We're going to pull up on the left, Jack. So, what mirrors are you going to check? Interior left. Do you need a signal? No, there's no one around. Don't bother then. Okay. What pedals are you going to cover now as you're pulling up to park? Clutch and the brake. Okay. What's your reference point? Oh, it's the little thing on the windscreen wiper. What do you do with the clutch? I'm going to push it down. Okay. And then when are you going to start to brake? Right about now. Brake now. Oh, that's all right. Keep your clutch there still. All right. What are you going to do next? Parking brake on. Can you bring your feet up or do you have to do anything else? You'll bring the feet. Oh, didn't take it out of gear. Oh, don't worry. It's not a problem. It was safe. Okay. So what happened there, do you think? I was stalled on my first ever lesson. Okay. What made you stall? Didn't take it out. Oh, I didn't take it out of gear. You didn't take it out of gear. Okay. Does it matter at the moment? Not really. No. I mean, obviously you don't want to stall, but I was here to keep you safe. So you know from now on in your lessons that I'm here as a safety blanket. Of course, I'll give you as much responsibility as I can, but you know you're completely safe. All right? Okay, so now we're going to go on, and this time I want you to take full responsibility for moving off and stopping. How do you feel about that? What do you mean? Well, I want you to take full responsibility, meaning that I'm just going to imagine time out from an outer roll. Imagine we've swapped seats, or you've helped the learner driver turn the vehicle around using the dual pedals. You could do that to help them with their steering, for instance. So it's something you could bring into the lesson. Don't necessarily have to swap seats. But I'm going the other way because I want to stay on the main road. Okay, so Jack, what I mean by that is, how about I stay silent, you have a go on your own, but as always, will I keep you safe? Yeah, you will, yeah. How do I keep you safe? Got pedals down there. Okay, so I'm going to try and stay silent. I want you to imagine you're on your own this time. Okay, all right, and go through the procedure. If there's any bits you miss, I can step in and help you. Let's do it. Okay, all right, so what? I got to do it, mate. Have a go. Okay, so first go what do you need to do with the clutch first? Oh yeah, sorry. Good. Good. Done. Round. Good. It's not going anywhere. What do you need to do with the clutch to make? Oh, bring the clutch up slowly. Good. Oh yeah, of course. Then it will go, won't it? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Well done. Good. Bring your clutch all the way up, Jack. That's lovely. All right. Okay. Now I want you to see if you can pull up on the left safely. So that includes your mirror work as well. So what, anywhere along here? Yeah. I want you to choose somewhere. Mirrors. Signal. Right. Good. Oh. Okay. I just used my dual brake there. Well done. Good. Oh, what happened though? What do you think happened as you pulled up? You got everything. You parking. What do you think? Well, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you what you felt went well with that little section where you did that on your own. Well, got the car moving. You did. How did you get the car moving? Well, I just went put the clutch, put it into first gear, brought the clutch up to the bike, then looked around, made sure it was safe, then pulled away. So what did you do with the clutch as you pulled away? I brought it all the way to the top slowly. Okay, and then pulling up, was that all right? Well, no, I stalled. Is it stalling, isn't it? Okay, well, you mentioned it. Let's do that first then. Why do you think you stalled? Oh, was it because I didn't put my clutch down? You didn't put your clutch down at the end. So the engine still wants to go, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I think my dad told me this. So to stop it from stalling, what do you need to do? Put my clutch down. Okay, good. So that's something we can work on the next lesson because it's at the end now of the lesson. How do you feel that went? That was such good fun, but there is a lot to remember. There's a lot to remember, but you got yourself moving. Okay, so that is the end of the lesson. You might go for more of a reflection statement at the end there, if there's time. It's good to ask Jack what he's done, and so he can go away and you as a driving instructor know what he's done and what he remembers. It's important that you go away from the driving lesson yourself as a driving instructor, knowing that what he's remembered and what he knows, and what he doesn't know, and what he understands and what he doesn't understand. Yeah. So well done. That's good. So now we're going to go on to very quickly. We're going to add into this particular video the second jack. So these are two jacks, very different. Okay. So we're going to go back into roll in a moment, and this time we're going to go on to the second jack. How you doing? Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I hear it's your birthday today. Yeah, it's my birthday, and my parents have got me this lesson and sprung it on me actually from nowhere because they didn't think I was going to get a lesson. Okay, so you're sat in the passenger side at the moment, and we've got you to read a number plate and got you to read I've had a look at your license as well. So everything's fine. So talk to me about obviously you're 17 today. Have you done any driving off road or anything like that? Yeah, I've done. I've been driving since I was about 5. Oh wow, okay. So how's that then? Well, I've done a bit of off road stuff, track days. My dad's got a farm, so I'm forever moving cars around on the farm. Yeah, so I do a lot of driving every day, to be honest. Fantastic. Okay, talk to me more about that. So what sort of cars have you driven? Well, my dad's got me one of these, so it's quite a big field, so I've been driving around in the last few days in one of these. But you know, I've driven all sorts of cars, probably driven most makes of cars, to be honest. Wow, okay, so how about mechanically? Do you know much about cars? Yeah, I've changed the clutch in one of these. I've changed an engine in a couple of cars. My dad's got me to do that. In fact, I can drop an engine out of a car and put a new one in. So gearboxes. I can do all of those sort of things as well. So I'm training to be a mechanic. And yeah, I mean, even today I was helping my dad because he's got his own on his farm. He's got his own little place where he changes stuff on the tractor and stuff. And yeah, I'm always helping him. So yeah. Okay, so you were driving yesterday. What did you drive yesterday? Yeah, my dad's got one of these Hyundai. So yeah, driven one of these yesterday. Wow. Okay, so talk to me about how confident you feel about driving on a road. Well, I feel confident. I mean, I can drive. Obviously, I've never driven on the road yet, but I think the only thing I'd be a bit concerned about is that I'm looking in the right, because you've got to check the right mirrors and stuff and you to pass your test. Okay, we'll come on to that in a minute. I mean, you do have to do certain things to pass your test, as you said, but don't forget your job is to keep yourself, or my job is to make sure you're safe for life as a driver rather than just passing a test. So, but we're going to go on to that in a moment, and I'm going to see what you know, what you don't know. So, how confident do you feel about driving off on the side of the road? Yeah, I think I can do it. I can show you what I could do. Okay, so would you want to see like pictures and stuff like that? No, not really. No, I don't think so. Normally I just like to have a go at stuff. All right. So when you say have a go at stuff, what about the observations and looking around? Yeah, well, I'll try and look, but if I have a go at pulling away and I don't look in the right places, if you just sort of watch me, that's fine. So I can keep you safe by looking in the right places for you, but try and look where you think you should look. Did you want to just have a go at driving off? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I can show you what I can do then.
Jack's goal is to pull off to the side of the road and demonstrate driving skills to the instructor. It's important that the instructor manages risk through proper observations, allowing Jack to showcase his driving abilities. As long as the structure is explained clearly before moving off, this approach is acceptable. In other words, as long as the instructor says, "Okay, I'll take control of the observations, but try to look when you can, as I want you to show me what you can do with your driving," everyone will understand their responsibilities.
Fine, so I'll take responsibility for making sure you're safe and looking around. And say you try and look in the right places. And on top of that, we'll have a go at driving off, so you know what's going to happen on this lesson. We'll have a go at, we'll see how we get on. If I feel like you're okay with everything, we'll keep the car moving. If not, we can pull up. Do you have any ideas what pedals I've got on this side? That'll be a clutch and a brake. Okay. When do you think I would use them? Probably if I'm going to crash. I'd certainly use them if you're going to crash, but anytime I feel like the risk is getting high, I'll give you a verbal command, like I might say slow down. If that doesn't work, then I'd use the pedals. Okay, so you're completely safe to experiment. Okay, that sounds good. So we'll swap seats. So we swap seats. We're on the other side. Now Jack is now sat in the driver's side. Okay, Jack. So first of all, obviously we need to set ourselves up in the car. So what do you think you need to do to set yourself up? Shall I just do it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got to make sure, obviously, in the right seating position, sat here, seating position, and make sure I can reach the pedals, which I can. I know you can adjust the steering on these. I can be stretched from the wheel. I saw that on YouTube. And put the seatbelt on, which I'll be honest with you, hands on, I don't often do when I'm on the farm. Okay. All right. So that's fine. Why do you think it's important to put it on? To be honest with you, even on the farm, Jack, try to start doing that. Why do you think it's high risk not to put your seatbelt on? Well, I might hit something on the farm. Okay, and what are the risks and dangers of that? Well, if I hit it hard enough, I could go through the windscreen. You could. So from now on, are you going to put your seatbelt on, even if you're off road? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good. I'm glad about that because that will keep you safer. Now, pulling away from the side of the road, I'm not even gonna. I can see you want to get moving, so I'm not going to ask you too much. I'm going to keep you safe. Do you want to just show me what you can do? Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. When you're ready, you can drive off. So at a roll, the instructor is looking around to make sure it's safe. No mirrors. Not checking the mirrors at all. Okay, yeah, that's great. So take the left, right on the left. come up here, yeah, that's it. So, no mirrors there. Okay. Quite a nice car, this, isn't it? Yes, yeah. You're right, driving it, yeah? Yeah, it's alright, yeah. Okay. Try not to accelerate quite so hard, but you did. You've obviously got a lot of confidence. You feel quite confident. Yeah, I feel alright, yeah. Great, okay. Let's carry on down, and I won't pull over yet. You do really well. I just want you to aim for about 20 miles an hour and go around these cars, yeah? Have a quick flick at your speedo. Oh, what a good so. Yeah, you're slow. It's like a learner speed. Not a learner speed, this is a safe speed, Jack. Left at the end. Okay, Jack, so I want you to pull up on the left in a safe place. Anywhere along here, yeah. Definitely got good spatial awareness, Jack. Well done. Okay. Right, okay. Great stuff. Keep the engine running. Alright, how do you feel that went? Yeah, it's a nice car, isn't it? Up on so quite know quite a lot about these cars, so yeah, they are good cars, aren't they? They're really good cars. So do you feel, how confident do you feel driving on the road? Yeah, felt alright. Okay, anything you felt you could have done better? Probably my observations. It was. Your observations need to improve, but before we talk about your developing your observations, what about the skill of controlling the vehicle?
It's important for the instructor to provide positive feedback to Jack, as he demonstrated impressive control over the vehicle. Just because he is confident doesn't mean the focus should immediately shift to the negatives. In fact, it's quite the opposite. As a driving instructor, you should coach Jack by highlighting his good qualities and skills. After acknowledging his strengths, you can then discuss areas for improvement and how he can further develop his driving abilities.
Yeah, I feel quite comfortable with that. What about going around parked vehicles? How much space do you think you should leave? I'm not really sure. I don't really know. Okay, about a door's width. At the moment, you're leaving less than that, but you can't always leave the door's width. So what do you do with your speed if you can't leave the door's width? Probably slow it down. And what sort of speed did I get you to slow it down to? About 20. And how do you know you were doing that 20? Just flicking my eyes at the speedo but not staring at it. Okay, that's something I want you to do. How confident do you feel doing that if I gave you a reminder? Yeah, I could do it, yeah. So, alright, I'm just going to give you a quick reminder of that, okay? What about the observation? So let's have a look. When you're pulling away, where do you think you need to look when you're pulling away from the side of the road? Probably that mirror and that one. Possibly that one as well. Okay, definitely that one as well. Can you see the grey coloured car in the driveway over there? I can see if I go like that. Well, what happens if you sit in your normal driving position? Can you see it then? No, I can't. Okay, so if you pulled away and there was a child running from that side or on a scooter, would you see him? No, I wouldn't. Okay, so where do you think you need to look as well as your mirrors? Oh, in that is that your blind spot, isn't it? Yeah, in the blind spot area as well. So do you think that's really important? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see you. You really would miss it, wouldn't you, Jack, if that was the case? So should we add that in as well? So how much help do you think? Could you remind me of that? Because I think I'd probably forget that. Okay, I'll remind you of your blind spot area. Okay, so we're going to start to really enhance those observations now as well. We'll go from there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to give you a little reminder when we pull away in a minute. Alright, okay, so we're going to get that right speed going around the parked vehicles, and I'll remind you of that as well. And we're going to get that blind spot check in. A couple of other things. If I say to you take the next road on the left, what mirrors do you think you're going to check? Probably that one. Okay, yes, that one. What else? I don't know, you can see most things in that one. You can see a lot in that one, but you won't see everything in that one. So you need to check that one and the left one. Because look, if you think you're looking at that one, can you see everything? Can you see the fence in that one? I can see some of the fence, but not all of it. So you wouldn't see anyone coming from that direction, would you? So it's important if you're changing direction, Jack, to check interior and left mirror, or if you're turning to the right or moving to the right, interior and right mirror. So if you're going around a parked vehicle, you tell me. If you're going around a parked vehicle, going out, what mirrors do you think you need to check? Interior and right mirror. Brilliant. As you come back in, interior and left mirror. Okay, what would you be checking for? It could be a motorbike overtaking me, but there very rarely is, I suppose. There very rarely is, but could there be? Yes, it could. Yeah, it could be, yeah. So, what do you need to do? I'll check my mirrors. So if you're changing direction or changing speed, you need to be checking your mirrors. Does that make sense? Yeah? Should we add that in? Yeah, okay. Are you okay if I remind you of that? Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to bring these observations in now as well. Okay? So, we're going to drive on when you're ready. I'm going to remind you. So,
driving instructors determine the level of instruction based on their own preferences, rather than the pupils'. It's important to remember that the lesson should be client-centered, not client-led. For instance, the instructor might ask Jack how much assistance he requires. However, since Jack needs to improve his mirror work, the instructor has decided to provide guidance by telling him which mirrors to check. While driving, the instructor will pose searching questions, such as, what mirrors are you going to check in this situation? This approach aligns with Jack's needs.
same again. Right, before you pull away, Jack, where are you going to look? Oh, mirrors, and over my right shoulder. Okay, anyone in your blind spot area? No. Is it safe to pull away? Yeah. Do you need a signal? Well, I normally signal, but no, don't need one. Good, so I know you're looking. So you're speeding up, what mirrors are you going to check? Interior and right. Good. Going around a parked vehicle, what mirrors are you going to check? Interior and right. Good. Alright. And then what mirror are you going to check as you move back in? Interior and left. Why? Well, there could be something on the inside of me. Now we're getting safer. Well done. So, we're going to be taking the next road on the left. So, what mirrors are you going to check? Interior and left mirror. Is it safe to signal? Yes. Good. Well done. Alright, okay, so, before you turn, anything on the inside of you? No. Okay, good. That's safer. So your skill level for driving is really good. Is it safe to speed up? Yeah, it is. Yeah, good. You tell me as we go around the next vehicle what mirrors you're checking. Interior and right. What speed are you going to be doing? Up to about 20. That feels really slow. That's not a learner speed. That is a safe speed, Jack. You don't want to go any quicker than that. Okay, end of the road, we're turning left. So, what mirrors are you going to check? Interior and left mirror. Okay, good. Well done.
The instructor will now let Jack have a go on his own, but specifically, I want you to focus on his mirror work during the last part of the lesson. Jack displayed good skill from the beginning, and the lesson was adapted to suit his learning style, which is very kinesthetic as he prefers to practice through action. At the start of the lesson, it was important to let Jack try things for himself while managing observations effectively. At the end of the lesson, you should take the time to reflect with Jack on what he felt went well and what he believes he could improve on. It's important for you, as the driving instructor, to understand what he has learned during the lesson and how he has managed to lower the risk while driving. The best way to accomplish this is by asking Jack open-ended questions at the end of the lesson, allowing him to express himself and articulate what he has done better.